Your 40s onwards might feel like just another milestone in your high achieving career. But what if I told you it's actually the most critical age for determining whether you'll thrive or burn out for the next 2 decades? Because around age 42, 43, you're caught right in the middle of a perfect storm between two powerful forces, and how you navigate this window will either liberate you from the exhausting cycle of needing to achieve more or lead to complete physical burnout. So what are these two forces? Let me break this down for you. By your early 40s, you've built serious career capital. You're likely earning more than you ever imagined. You have influence. People respect your opinion. You've excelled by tapping into something powerful. But here's what nobody tells you about this force. It's called achievement momentum. And while it got you here, it's about to become your biggest problem. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a second force emerging that most successful people have no idea how to handle. It's your deeper self starting to wake up saying, wait, is this what I want to look back on when I'm old and gray and in a rocking chair telling my grandchildren all about my life experiences? This is what I call wisdom awakening. Not just how can I achieve more, but what actually matters. Not how can I get ahead, but where am I actually going? And this is where most successful people get trapped. These opposing forces create an internal war that explains the confusion, the restlessness, and why success doesn't hit the same anymore. You might be wondering what's really causing this internal war. Well, here's the deeper truth that explains everything. It's what I call the achievement paradigm paradox. The very habits and patterns that got you to orbit are now the ones keeping you burning fuel unnecessarily. Your success strategies have become your exhaustion patterns. I discovered this paradox the hard way. Let me tell you about the most impactful question I've ever been asked, because this moment will show you exactly what I mean. I was sitting in my therapist's office thinking I had figured everything out. We'd been working together for a while when she stopped, looked at me, and asked the question that changed everything. Are you happy? Oh my God. The overwhelm of emotion that surfaced was unreal. I couldn't say yes. How is that possible? On the outside, I had everything. An amazing husband, 2 great kids, a house in a country club community, and a stable job. I should be happy. So why couldn't I say yes? I was like a rocket that had successfully reached orbit. I had all the external markings of having made it. But here's the problem. I was still white-knuckling the controls, still burning fuel like I was trying to escape gravity. And that's when I realized something that changed everything about how I understood success. Think of it like this. In the early stages of launch, you need massive fuel burn, intense thrust, and complete focus on getting off the ground. Every system is designed for one thing, escape velocity, and it works brilliantly. But once that rocket reaches orbit, those same systems that were essential for launch become dangerous. The very power that got you to space will destroy your mission if you don't learn to navigate differently. That's exactly what was happening to me. My achievement patterns had gotten me everything I thought I wanted, but I was still operating like I was fighting for survival. And here's why this matters so much right now. It's why the early 40s are so critical. If you're listening to this and you've been operating from these achievement patterns since your 20s, that means you've had roughly 20 years of your nervous system believing that your survival depends on your next accomplishment. You've reached orbit, but you're still firing thrusters at launch intensity. Here's what's fascinating. Most high achievers think their exhaustion comes from their circumstances, the demanding job, the business pressure, the financial responsibilities. But what if 80% of your burnout actually comes from your achievement paradigm, not your external situation? For me, that led to some pretty bold moves. My family and I left everything we'd worked for in Michigan and moved to Arizona. When I got to Arizona, I thought changing my external circumstances would solve everything. New state, dream weather, mountain views. Surely now I'd be happy, right? But within months, I found myself recreating the same patterns. I was still checking emails obsessively, still feeling behind, still operating like my worth depended on my next accomplishment. That's when I realized this wasn't about my job or my location. This was about something much deeper, the operating system I'd been running for 20 years. But even then, I found myself asking, what do I want? And that simple question was surprisingly difficult to answer. Because here's the thing, most of us go-getter, high achiever types started on a path to success based on what we should do, not what we want to do. We learn that safety comes through performing, that worth comes through producing, that love comes through achieving. Here's what happens if you don't address this in your 40s. I've worked with clients in their 50s and 60s who are financially successful but emotionally bankrupt. They're like rockets that reached orbit decades ago but never learned to turn off the engines. They're successful but exhausted, wealthy but worried, accomplished but still not enough. By 55, these patterns aren't just habits, they're your identity. The window for rewiring becomes much smaller. But at around 42, you're perfectly positioned to make a different choice. Your brain is still neuroplastic enough to rewire these patterns. And your life experience gives you the wisdom to know what you truly want. So let me show you exactly what this looks like. When I work with high achievers stuck in this paradigm, I see 3 distinct patterns. 3 ways you learned to survive as a child that are now running your adult mission. Maybe you're the perpetual striver. You saw exhaustion, constant work, praise only coming with achievement. That child learned, I must always do more to be worthy. You probably feel this as a pressure in your chest. Never done, never enough. Sound familiar? Or you might be the secret worrier. You felt anxiety about money, heard, we can't afford that all the time, saw financial fear. That child learned it's never safe to relax about money. You feel this as a knot in your stomach, always brace for disaster, even with 6 figures in the bank. Or perhaps you're the silent second guesser. You saw hiding struggles, keeping up appearances, constant comparing. That child learned, I can't let them see I'm unsure. You feel this as hollowness, performing confidence while doubting inside. Here's what's wild. These patterns got you to orbit. The striver's relentless drive built your career. The worrier's caution protected your finances. The second guesser's awareness helped you navigate politics and relationships. But now, these same survival patterns are why you can't enjoy the view from space. So how do you know if you're operating from an old achievement paradigm? Let me paint you a picture. You're on vacation, but still checking Slack because what if something important comes up? You hit your income goal, but instead of celebrating, you immediately set a higher goal for next time. You have 6 figures in savings, but still worry about money because what if it all disappears? Or here's a big one. People compliment your success, and instead of feeling proud, you feel like a fraud because internally, you're still running scared. If you find yourself unable to enjoy your successes, you hit a goal and then immediately start planning the next launch, that's paradigm, not circumstances. If you have financial security but still feel like you're running out of fuel, that's your achievement programming. The beautiful thing is, you didn't fight gravity and reach orbit, just spend the rest of your mission afraid of floating. The question isn't whether you can afford to learn new navigation. The question is, can you afford to keep burning launch fuel forever? If you're ready to explore what achievement paradigm might be running your mission, I've created a 15-minute paradigm diagnostic that will help you identify your specific patterns. You can find the link below this video. This isn't another productivity assessment. It's designed to reveal the subconscious beliefs that are keeping you in launch mode. Remember, achievement patterns create success, but success patterns create freedom. At 42, you're not too late to learn orbital navigation. You're perfectly positioned to enjoy the view you worked so hard to reach.